start with your father. He's an original Lido Isle original builder of Lido Isle.
That's right.
Tell me about that.
Well, he used to work for Griffith Company, and Griffith Company was going to make the island, so he got the bid to excavate and dredge the water out so that they could make a sand-filled island. So the job went on, and then finally when they got ready to finish it, well, Griffith Company owed him $600. And so...
A lot of money in those days.
What?
A lot of money in those days.
I know it. So he offered him 2 lots down at the east end. And he said, well, I've got babies coming along. What would I do with a sand-filled lot? I don't need that. No. And so he got paid, and I came along. That was in 1924.
What kind of stories did he tell you about Lido back in those days, about building it?
Well, he told me, well, we girls were little, of course. That was in Pasadena, though. He would tell us the different stories that we had. Was I used to walk along the edge here. We used to come down here in our car from Pasadena, and all it was sand all the way along, so we would pitch a tent, and my grandpa and grandma and everybody in the family would come down. We'd all have a big picnic. Mom would make fried chicken, and we'd bring the ice cream, the old-fashioned ice cream, what do you call it, you're too young. But we'd grind our ice cream, make it ourselves, and have a really nice picnic. All the brothers and sisters would come down, and cousins, and we'd have the whole beach to ourselves, pretty much. They were fun days. We were very fortunate in those days that Dad had a job, because that was in 24, 25, and 29, and the Depression. So we had a maid. Her name was Verancia. She was a charmer. I stayed friendly with her until she passed away. And my aunt and I went to the funeral. We were the only 2 white people in the church, but I couldn't miss going. She was so good to us. So one day he brought 2 tarantulas, and I knew my mom wouldn't let me have them. But my dad brought an apple box and put a screen wire over on the top of it so that they couldn't get out. So I put it under my bed. And so every time I wanted to play with them, and in those days, we didn't take them out and play with them. Today they do. But I would try and feed it some flies and a little food, and then put it away again, put the wire back, screen back. And so anyway, one day my mom is in there and she's dusting under the bed, and out flies these 2 tarantulas, and let's get those out of here, and don't you ever bring them back in the house again. How we came down here was we were in the rug cleaning business, and my husband was making instruments. And when he came to the island making instruments, and he thought, this looks pretty nice. So he got a realtor to show him a couple of houses, and he picked out 4. Now I'm working in the office, don't know anything about this. He picked out 4, and then one day he said, "Let's go to lunch." And when we got in the car, he said, "I've got a surprise for you. I have a nice place that I think we would enjoy moving to. And I have picked out 4 houses, and you can pick out the one that you want." So that's what we did. We took a ride. We went to 4 different houses, and I picked out one on Dijon, figuring there's no way we could afford anything on the waterfront. So, but I hadn't told him much about my dad. So I knew a little bit more about the island than he did. And I wanted the waterfront, but I thought this is the closest I'll get. So I picked Dijon, but I didn't realize that when you back out, it's pretty close to your neighbor. If somebody's parked there, it's pretty hard to get out. Things like that. I don't want to be negative. We only lived there about 6 months, and finally he said, "I can't, this is claustrophobia to me," because we had been in a house up at the Back Bay, Centella Place, and we had a lot of room. And so we started looking. At that time, we kind of switched from rug cleaning to probate homes, getting into a little real estate. And so we had been buying, fixing up, selling houses. So this house on the waterfront came up for sale. We went in and bid on it, and we got it. So we thought, well, we'll just fix it up. We'll use it for the summer. And 48 years later, we just moved out. Well, when we moved in, we had 2 years later, our neighbors moved in, and their name is Judy and Joel, and they're still living there. We lived next door to each other for 48 years, never had a word. We both had different religions, we had different lifestyles, but I tell you that in 48 years, especially the way things are going in the world today, everybody's so against one or another, not naming anything, just saying, we live next door to this family. They had 3 children, we had 2. Actually, we only had 1 because my son was now in the Marines. So we can say, both of us can say, we lived next door to each other for 48 years and never had a word. Best neighbors ever. We moved in there, fixed it up. It was in really bad shape. That was to our benefit. So we fixed it the way we wanted it, and got acquainted with the neighbors. Most all of them come by our house down the Estrada to go to the dock where they get their boats. We loved the island and the way they live. People over there were very, very friendly. We heard that so many of them were snooty, but they aren't. Once you know them, they're just like anybody else. And we got into tennis, playing tennis, and both of us did. He went into the men's and I went into the women's. So we had a lot of tennis dinners. We'd meet in the clubhouse, and that's how we met so many people. It was getting in the clubhouse, playing tennis, going to the team games, and we just enjoyed the whole picture. So each summer we said, well, another summer. another summer, and 48 years of pleasure we had here. Just about 3 years ago, and we moved to the Balboa Bay Club. We had to gear down. It was time for us. I'm 99. In 7 months, I'll be 100. I'm praying that I'll make it.